Beth Getz finally was hired as the athletic director there. I know she was the interim athletic director for a while there. Had to make some pretty tough decisions as it pertained to Kirk Ferentz and an unnamed offensive coordinator that we're not going to talk about right now. What does this mean for both Iowa's football program, but the entire university? And then also, too, can you take us a little bit into the offensive coordinator search and where that things stand with Iowa in that regard?
Well, with the OC, that thing is never going to end. I think we're going to wait until fall camp, and they're just going to magically anoint somebody. No, I'm just kidding. But
I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? You got me not wondering if you were joking or
not. A couple weeks ago, I was told multiple times by multiple people inside that it's Paul Chrysts if he wants it. Former Wisconsin coach. Ultimately, about a week ago, he decided, I want to stay at Texas and help mold Arch Manning and Quinn Ewers, and I guess that's his prerogative. But it kind of sent Iowa back to square one when it comes to, when it comes to what they're going to do with OC. So they're looking at some of the NFL guys that have just been released over the last week or so, checking there. What I've been told is it's going to probably be finalized by the end of this week. The names, they're fleeting. It's really tough to figure out and keep my eyes on it. But I'll get something here probably by the end of the day or tomorrow as far as somebody there. But
you mentioned Joe Philbin in the past, and there's some rumors out there about Chip Kelly potentially being. I don't know all these crazy rumors out there, but could you imagine Chip Kelly at Iowa?
No.
Can we just do it? Can we just imagine it for a minute?
Let's imagine it then, Ari. But
what does that look like to you if it, in this fake made up world of it not happening?
I think that's probably when Kirk Ferentz goes in to ride the unicycle or something inside and tool around a bunch of plates. I don't know. I can't imagine those two guys, being in the same room communicating on a day-by-day basis. But there was a rumor from the very beginning about Scott Frost, and I'm like, that will never happen in a million years. And people are calling me on radio shows in Iowa. Well, so it looks like there's a frost warning coming to Iowa City. I'm like, I don't know who you're listening to, but that'll never happen in a million years. But Beth, she's a different person for that role than they've ever had. I mean, obviously she's the first female to oversee the entire department, but she's only the fourth athletic director Iowa's had since 1970. And they've had some really good ones. I mean, Bump Elliott, Hall of Famer at Michigan, hired all their great coaches back in the 70s and 80s, from Hayden Fry to Dan Gable to Lute Olson and Tom Davis. And then after that was Bob Bowlesby for 15 years. And then Gary Barta retired after 17. And that's been kind of an up and down era. But what she's done for football is now, instead of football just kind of getting a blank check and kind of being its own fiefdom, she's brought them under the hood, and they're going to have to comply to what she wants them to do, which is, that was a pretty gutsy, tough move as an interim AD. Now, the president was instrumental in making it happen, but nobody's really checked the football program before. And she was able to do that with sending an offensive coordinator out the door. And, I think when it comes to NIL, she has a great relationship with the collective. Last week when, everything started looking up when it came to Caden Proctor, they went on a spree and they raised $100,000 in a day. And that's pretty significant because it was more grassroots than just having one donor do it. Although in the fall, they did have a couple of donors pledge for every $1 million that they would donate $1 million. So, excuse me. So, and her outlook on student athlete welfare and paying players is completely different than what they've had in the past. So, I think she's a transformational figure who will do a lot of good things at Iowa.